this one, two 11-0 teams. Michigan's looking for their first win in Columbus since 2000. So most
Wow.
of those kids on the team, they weren't born yet. Um,
Right.
and yeah,
You were in what, fourth grade for the third time?
I was actually in fourth grade because I was so smart.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
5 years old, so I was a very smart 5-year-old, Mike.
Right.
um, but that I think this is the second time that two teams have been 11-0 in college football history that doesn't count a bowl game. And the other time was in '06 when Michigan and Ohio State played. And
Who
yeah,
won
Michigan
that one?
uh bad guys did. Yeah, if there was a big game between Michigan and Ohio State probably won most of them. In my lifetime until yeah, from about 2001 to 2022. There weren't a
So
whole lot of exciting Saturdays after Thanksgiving for me.
help me out, because I generally I don't remember which team hands out the golden pants
That's
necklace.
Ohio State.
Okay, okay, because something about back in the 20s or
Yep.
something that someone said we put our pants on the same way they do or
Yep, it
whatever.
was they just came out with a documentary on Bally Sports
Yeah,
about the rivalry,
yeah.
and I yeah, Francis, I can't think of the guy's last name, but he was the one that started it, and it was a really good cool documentary. But yeah, the offensively, it's hopefully Corum and Edwards are back. They're both their running backs if they're able to play. They got to have the physical attack like they had last year, where they just pummeled Ohio State into the ground, and Ohio State had no answer for the run game. Uh, receivers this year, there was a talk about this being some of the best receiving core that Harbaugh's had in his time, but they've been very underwhelming. A lot of drops. Um, they got to make plays, and this is there's no better time to do it. Big time players make big plays in big games. I would like to see JJ McCarthy, the quarterback, use his legs a little bit more. He's got to live up to the 5-star hype and of live up to that rating. And I think another thing is they can't if they when they're able to move the ball, they can't settle for field goals. They got to find ways to get in the end zone, um, end every possession with a kick. And I think to win, they're gonna have to score in the 40s. I think Ohio State that offense is cooking. They're always cooking. The CJ Stroud's tremendous. Marvin Harrison is probably gonna might end up being better than his dad. And as on the defensive side, the pass rush they have to show up. They got to be able to get pressure without blitzing, get pressure with four guys. I'm hoping to get 4 sacks. I think if they get 4 sacks, they're going to be doing all right. They can't let big plays become big plays, which is such a big part of Ohio State's offense is just those explosive plays. Make Ohio State prove they can go down, score with 10, 11 play drives. Um, and then another part too is as I mentioned, Marvin Harrison, uh, a tremendous receiver. He's gonna get his, just like I said, limit the big. Don't let it become a big play. But they can't let guys like Emeka Ibuka and Julian Fleming, who started off with the year really hot and kind of simmered off. Emeka Ibuka, he had a big game against Maryland last week, but um, they can't let those guys have big games. In 2018 when they played, Chris Olave went into that game with no touchdowns. He ended up with 3 against Michigan, and that was the legend of him that was born. And then,
He had a touchdown last yesterday, by the way.
yep, he did, and then force field goals in the red zone, and then try to get pick C.J. Stroud off one time, and don't let the Ohio State run game get going because that's where it's going to open up that passing game that Ohio State
So
has. That's very
let me
deadly.